Okay, today I have something kind of fun for you. I'm not even really sure what to say about these, or really what to call them, but they're like Russian driving guides from like 1970. So you see, so these are all Soviet era. And this was a little pamphlet that came with it, and you can see, CCP, Soviet Union. I'm guessing that's, I don't know, year or whatever that means, and then 1970. And these are literally traffic guides. So this one is kind of like a little booklet on, I guess, like the rules of the road and how traffic flows. So you can see here, it's, again, I do not read Cyrillic or Russian, so I do not know what any of that says, but you see from the pictures here, it's not really any better, because these don't really make a lot of sense to me either. But apparently, this one, trucks go in that lane and not that lane, and they definitely don't follow green arrows. And when they turn, it's good to make big, long, sweeping turns. I don't know. So anyway, that's the little booklet there, which is in lovely color. But this is what's kind of fascinating. And again, it's and you can see whatever that says. And as you can see, I mean, bus, trucks, cars. And you see down here, again, it looks like Moscow, 1971. So again, I do not know what that means, but the CCP. So, but this one, it has some fantastic just diagrams and things, and again, a lot of like tractor pictures and people with their arms like in the air, kind of like they're directing traffic. And it's a whole book just on like the rules of the road in the Soviet Union, or Russia in particular. Like I said, I'm not Moscow, I'm not super familiar with any of this, but there's charts and things that again say stuff with numbers. And then again, just a bunch of like fantastic drawings. And it's one of those things where I got at a thrift store out in San Diego. When I went there, they had a whole bunch of just Soviet era books and things, so I grabbed everything. And that a pencil holder I showed of like from like a mine a few videos back, I got in the same thing. So I don't know if it was somebody that had migrated from Russia to the U.S. or somebody that had just studied it. Like, I have no idea where it all came from, but like I said, I grabbed everything I could. So yeah, like here, you can see like tractor, car, you can see the street signs. So again, I don't know, does that mean like no tractors, no driving on the shoulder? I do not know. And there's go later on here, I think it's coming up. Yeah, like passing, there's oh yeah, here we go. Like, again, like, is that braking, acceleration? If you see a kid with the ball, then you either brake and you'll stop here, or if you hit the gas, you'll run them over there. I don't know. I mean, because it's Soviet Union, you never know what they want to do. Maybe maybe that was an evil American, and they're saying if you see an evil American, run them over. No, I'm just kidding. I know they weren't serious. But yeah, like this one. So you have a dump truck, you have a bus, a car, then you have like another truck, and then a tractor, all on the same highway. That would be a very like fascinating road to drive down. And so then you have like, again, like these are like speed limits. Is it like in the city? Do you need 10 miles an hour, and then the scooter goes 50, or? Said I have no idea, but it's, again, kind of fascinating to see the pictures and like the order of things, and this was done for a reason. So for some buddy, this was probably a very important book to have to show, again, like tractors and like again, like maybe if you're driving in the country and the bus lane shares the lane with a tractor, so you need to know like what to do. I have no idea. So I got a bunch of that kind of stuff. And then there's, yeah, trolleys. You get trolleys in the street. And here you go. So here's the ones with like the police officers. I think they're police officers, look like it. And then, so they stand there, and I guess like where they stand and what to do with what direction they're facing. And then that guy's pointing you to turn right, or the traffic to go to the right, or the traffic on the right goes. Something along that line. And then again, like all these, like he can do a U-turn and he can do whatever, and it's. I'm sure for them this was a very handy guide, but for me, I don't understand it. Like what to do if the cliff goes out, if your barriers are gone. You get a landslide. What do you? There you go. Yeah, here's the one that's the cliff gone out. So you can see the little barriers right there, which wouldn't stop a bicycle, much less a car, from careening off the cliff. But I guess it's probably about all they had. So yeah, and then they got, diagrams too. So there's like looks like an axle, or not an axle, it's like a drive shaft, CV joint, or not CV joint, you know what I mean, I can't think of it right now. Diagrams of tires, it's like your proper alignment for your headlights, and then the different types of vehicles, I guess like how to climb on your military vehicle when you're commuting to work on it. How to ride on your motorcycles, and your signs. So, from your nuclear explosions to your steaming pots to your umbrellas when it rains. I'm guessing like, fragile and wet or don't get wet and that side up and, your doom. And then some of these are good too, I guess, like, if your truck breaks down on railroad tracks, you're probably should run. If you're if you're bringing your like tiller or combine, I thought this was kind of cool too, to get the planks of wood over the railroad tracks to get your tractor over. Like I said, it's a very interesting little book. That's about it. So, like I said, I don't really know anything about it. Like I said, looks again pretty much just like Rules of the Road. And but just love it for all the little pictures and the things, and again, it's just a fascinating piece of kind of like ephemera, because how many of these exist nowadays? Like I said, a 1970s traffic rule book from Moscow or Russia. Who knows? Kind of just a strange thing to pick up, but kind of the stuff I like. So anyway, like I said, that's it. I know this is kind of a long one. I know it's kind of rambling and just kind of yammering on, but I don't know. It's like, what do you talk about these things? Like, what do you say? Cool logo. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it's for, but it's pretty cool. That's kind of it. So, anyway, that's it. Sorry for all the rambling. Thanks.